Hey everyone, Dave Pele, Josh Pele. No Mario Heron today. Bolt Crew podcast. Mario, things came up unexpectedly. Everything is good with him though, so we aren't going to worry about it. He's going to be good at the same time. Today is a good day for your comments. Again, if you have something to say, now that we're missing a person, we're a man down. We need someone else to step up. So here's the deal: we need you guys to subscribe and like the show, notification bell. I don't even know what that means, but you go ahead and find that too. We'll take it all. We need all the help we can get right now as Josh is giving away a big prize. What's the prize you're giving away, Josh?
Chargers jersey of your choice. We're announcing that on next show, at the end of next show.
Wow. Okay. There you go right there. So Charger jersey of your choice. So color, everything, player, the whole deal.
Yeah, and we're not going like crazy customization jersey. Like if you want a Tim Dwight jersey, like you can kick rocks. All right. You tell me what jersey of which player you want like today. All right. We're going to do current players. We're trying to build the brand of today's players.
Okay, so it has to be a player. It can't be like 69 Big Ron on the back.
Oh my God. Don't even get I hate that. You hate that. You're not getting your name on the jersey. You're getting a Chargers player today, not your name, and not a joke.
No, it's not that guy that plays softball every Thursday with his friends. Always the heaviest guy on the team that wears number 69.
Yeah,
thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah,
but yet he goes home single every night. Am
I
right? It's always that guy.
No, you're definitely right. You're 100% right. So there's something that happened recently, and we got a lot of comments on Twitter or X, whatever. I'm just gonna call it Twitter. Okay, I like it better, Twitter. And people kept commenting, said, "What's Dave have to say about this?" And I think you know what I'm about to ask you. Did you see Cheryl Bosa post Joey Bosa in a 49ers jersey because she wants them to be teammates up in the Bay?
Let me tell you something. Number one, it's a bizarre picture. Okay. The picture is bizarre as hell. Everybody's seen it, right? This picture where it's Nick Bosa wearing 97 and Joey wearing 99. I mean, dude, Josh gets on me all the time for not cropping pictures. Don't be afraid to crop the picture. Good Lord. I mean, how's it hanging? To the right, Mom. Can't you look at the picture? I mean, what are we doing here? That was like an embarrassing picture for both her kids. I don't understand why the hell she posted that one. You could have cropped it, made it look a little bit better, but this is what Cheryl does. Cheryl's crazy. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm believe it or not, Josh can attest to this. I'm friends with Cheryl Bosa. Actually, on social media, when remember when Joey wouldn't sign his contract, Cheryl actually reached out, and then a couple fake Cheryls reached out to me as well. But then all of a sudden, the real Cheryl showed up. And so at the time we were doing Charger Talk, and at the time we had a morning show on the Charger station, and Cheryl was trying to get her message across there. I appreciated it at the time. But as time has gone on, it becomes very frustrating. Look, his mom can be crazy all the way. Eli Apple's mom's nuts. Okay. Here's the deal. They don't play the game. So I really don't care as much, except when you become a distraction to the team. And what Cheryl does becomes a distraction of the team. And what Joey does becomes a distraction of the team. So when she's sitting there playing mom GM, it's old, man. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. This isn't 8-year-old soccer at the Y. We're trying to get your kid on a team with his favorite player, his favorite neighbor. It doesn't work this way. This is the NFL. They pay your kid a lot of money, play both your sons a lot of money to make it work out. So all the talk that Cheryl's going about saying, how great would this be? You have manifested this for years, Cheryl, to the point when Nick is in a playoff game, Joey shows up in 49er gear. Don't give me the brotherly love stuff either, because it's not. Because when Joey's in the playoff game, I don't see Nick showing up in Charger gear. He doesn't wear the Charger stuff. There's never talk of you saying, man, how great would it be to have Nick join Joey in Los Angeles? Ever. Am I right? It's always a one-way street. Cheryl can stick it. Joey, go ahead and go, dude. There's the door. Let it hit you right in the ass, man. We're all done with Joey Bosa. He's going to be let go anyway. He's played his last game as a Charger. But what cracked me up today was the rumor in the NFL is the 49ers could be pursuing Max Crosby. And then they had the same exact picture. Guess who's wearing 99 in the picture? It's Max Crosby. Guess who's wearing 97? It's Nick Bosa. And then so all the talk, Cheryl must be having a panic attack right now. Sitting there in Florida going, I don't know what I'm going to do because the dream of my son's playing together. Well, that dream's over. Okay? That dream is over right there, Cheryl. I don't care. Nobody cares. And the 49ers, if they get him, they're going to be extremely disappointed with what they get because old man Bosa doesn't have it anymore. And now he'll be wearing a different uniform next year. We won't think twice.
Why would they sign or why would they get Joey Bosa if they have Deebo Samuel, who they already don't want because he doesn't play? Like, you want another guy who's older than Deebo Samuel that doesn't play? You gotta be kidding me. I'm so tired of when a family member of a player who's underachieved wants to speak out. You have no room. You're not the player. The fact that Joey Bosa lets his mom speak for him drives me out of my mind. I mean, the Kelly Stafford situation, which we're about to talk about in a second, drives me crazy, but at least Matt Stafford is living up to his name. Like, Joey Bosa has been an underachiever. And for her to speak out again, saying that she wants him to be on the 49ers, he can go. He can go. I don't care if this is not his opinion. He's allowing his mom to put her post out there. The fact that he doesn't tell his own mother, delete that. Like, if my mom posted on LinkedIn that she wanted me to work for another company, I'd freak out, right? And my mom does. Nobody's following my mom on LinkedIn, but you get my point. I handle myself. I'm a grown man. I'm going to make my decisions. I'm going to make my voice heard if I want it to be heard. For her to put her opinion out there again drives me out of my mind. Do you have anything else on Cheryl Bosa before we
Yeah,
move to
this is
Kelly
not
Stafford?
the first family of football. That's the thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When you talk about the first family of football, you think of someone like the Manning family, right? Where Archie was a successful quarterback. Peyton's a Hall of Famer. Eli will end up in the Hall of Fame as well. Won 2 Super Bowls. But that's what you consider, hey, that's the first family of football. And guess what? Arch Manning is going to end up joining the league too next year, probably be the first overall pick. The Bosa family is not that. Matter of fact, there are 4 Bosas who have been in the NFL, and I'll say 4 from that family. God dang it. 4 from that.
She doesn't like Cheryl.
4 for that family. She took off too. And 3 of the 4 were busts. I'm sorry. And when I say bust, Joey had a decent career. All right. That sounds bad to say. But when the Chargers drafted him, they thought this guy would be Pro Bowl, all pro guy, Hall of Fame kind of talk guy. Remember, that was a strong draft that year. And not saying Joey didn't give the Chargers some good years, but he gave the Chargers a lot of years where no one's going to be sad to see him go. It's not a situation where Phillip Rivers left and we're sad to see him go, or LaDainian when he left for the Jets, or you know what I mean? It's not that even when Keenan Allen left, we all felt kind of sick about it, Keenan Allen leaving. But when Joey Bosa, it's not that way. It's like it's about time. It should have been gone a few years ago. And unfortunately, his body doesn't hold up anymore. But a lot of times I question, man, what's the deal with Joey? Is Joey just here saying, I'm here for the check, or am I here for the wins? And there's a big difference as you see that teams that win the Super Bowl and have success. You know, the teams that are there for the wins, it means a lot.
Yeah, it does mean a lot. And I'm just going completely off the top of the head right here. Does she crack your top 5 of most annoying family members? I don't know if she's in my top 5.
I think
she's
you got
making
4
a case.
in the Mahomes family. You have 4.
I was
right
about
there
to say the Mahomes
family.
family's taking up a good portion. We got who out of the Mahomes family drive you the most nuts? Is it Jackson?
The dad disgusts me with all his DUIs. The dad with his 3 DUIs disgusts me.
He's about to have a huge fight coming up.
That was ridiculous. The whole thing was rigged. Whole thing that bothered me that they rigged the whole thing. I mean, when you're watching, you think of the same thing. A buddy of mine said the same thing. Goes, this thing's rigged before they announced it. And I was like, he's right. It took a day. It took 24 hours for that thing to go about. John Rocker's a punk. I hate to say it. I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes' dad, who has no chance. John Rocker's a big dude. John Rocker's just a big. I covered John Rocker when I covered Major League Baseball in the late '90s. The guy's just a big giant racist, man. I can't stand John Rocker either. But no, I can't stand the dad. Can't stand Patrick Mahomes' mom. Can't stand his wife, and I can't stand his brother. His brother is disgusting. The Sean Taylor thing's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, that crazy. But okay, I don't think she's in the top 5. Sorry, Cortland Finnegan's wife, Eli Apple's mom, dude. And then we'll just talk about it right now. Kelly Stafford.
Yeah, hit it.
Kelly Stafford hit it. Kelly Stafford has said a few things that are just out of control, right? We're talking about a guy in Joey Bosa who allows his mom to put her opinion out there. At least she's talking about her son being on a team, even though it's not okay. Kelly Stafford talking about straight up having sex with the backup quarterback at Georgia to get back at him. And now she doesn't want him to be on the Rams because he's not appreciated. Dude, with the old LeVar Ball line, stay in your lane. Like, what are you doing? And I love, and I'm obviously a huge Chargers fan, I love that the Rams took the stance of you can go. We're not here to put up with your wife. We're not here to put up with all this drama. We're here to win football games. And if your wife wants to get in between our plans because she's upset that Cooper Kupp is not going to be a Ram next year, you can go too. We might trade Matt Stafford for the number 3 pick, which I think is actually a great decision, and move forward. I love when teams put their foot down and say enough is enough.
No, I'm with you 100% on this. I mean, Kelly Stafford's not just affecting her life. She's basically controlling her husband's life and their kids. When you have to explain to the kids, hey, remember all your friends that you have here in Southern California, and you love your new neighborhood, and you love your house, and you love the fact the weather's always great compared to when we lived in Michigan. Guess what? We're going to pack up. We're now bringing the family to New Jersey or Connecticut. That's where we're going to make our home. Yeah, it's not going to be the same. You're going to make all new friends. Everyone's going to speak with a weird accent. Can't say their R's. And good luck with you in New York in that weather. And again, mom, dad, why are we doing this? Because your mom had to go on her podcast and open up her big mouth. That's what happened right there. She completely stepped out of her lane, and it really had nothing to do. Your mom has never thrown one pass, and yet she's going to sit there and dictate where this family moves because she thought she was in control of $1 billion franchise. Name one person in that Rams organization that was okay with what she said. All right, and to refresh people's minds in case you missed it, she's upset that Cooper Kupp, their close friends, aren't going to be part of the Rams any longer. Which, by the way, Cooper Kupp didn't keep his mouth shut, right? I mean, what's the talk, Josh? That they said to Cooper Kupp, we're going to try and make a deal for you, but you will not be on the Rams next year. This is between us as professionals. We didn't have to share this information, but we want you to be professional. Well, he didn't. He ran right out and told everyone, they don't want me back. I'm out. Ram fans upset, the whole deal. Look, don't fall in love with players, man, if they aren't producing. Okay, that's why I always tell you guys when you buy jerseys, as Josh is about to tell you, go ahead and pick a jersey. Pick someone that's basically on his way to the Hall of Fame career. Somebody aren't going to be embarrassed to wear that jersey down the road or is already in the Hall of Fame. But like you can't go wrong with certain players. But at the same time, man, when you sit there and you're going to push a billionaire around who owns Walmart, and you're going to push around Les Snead, who has made his bones as one of the best GMs in football, if not the best. And then you have a head coach and Sean McVay who basically went out on a limb to say, I think you're the reason we can win a Super Bowl. And they did. And you traded Jared Goff away. Everything they wanted for Matthew Stafford, who nobody even saw play except on Thanksgiving Day when the Lions were playing, because the Lions were a joke when he was there. So the Rams gave him credibility, gave him a championship, and at least he can retire as a winner. He's a great football player, man, but he's closer to 40 than he is to 30 right now. So the family's going to pack up and leave. He maybe has 2-3 years left in the league because she had to sit there and say, we aren't happy with what's going on. And guess what? As much as we love Los Angeles, this family doesn't mind adventure. We don't mind moving either. Okay, let's see it.
Yeah, go ahead. And I think, I know you're a huge Matt Stafford fan, as I am too. I think he's a little bit overrated at this point in his career. People are talking about how he can turn around a franchise. I'm not 100% sure he can. I don't know if Matt Stafford, to me, is a top 12 quarterback. Do you have him as a top 12 quarterback today?
I do. I mean, they were the closest team to beating the Eagles, right? As far as if they would have knocked off the Eagles, like when the Rams said we had a chance of winning this thing, that no one was competing with the Eagles except the Rams did in the postseason. And if it wasn't snow all over the ground, maybe the Rams actually win that game. The thing with Stafford, a couple things I like about him is one is he's that guy when you go out in your backyard, as I always say all the time, and you're throwing with your friends and you want to emulate someone. He's one of those guys. He looks cool doing it. You know, as much as we all love Phillip Rivers, no one's out there saying Rivers and then throwing the ball like him. He looked like an idiot, right? It was never cool to watch Phillip Rivers throw a ball. At the same time, yeah, it was the most catchable ball ever. Like it felt like anybody could catch that ball, and he always put it in a perfect spot. But he wasn't cool doing it, right? He didn't even cuss. Like as a kid, that was your first time, and you get a chance to go in the yard or in the park and just drop swear words like crazy, knowing your parents aren't going to get you in trouble for it. That's when we all learned to cuss, was playing football like that. But you were one of those celebrities at the time. Stafford was that guy. That was kind of cool. But now that he's not going to be a Ram, if I'm a Rams fan, I'm like, I don't like this. But at the same time, Cooper Kupp's gone because Matthew Stafford wasn't throwing him the ball. Now, why wasn't he throwing him the ball? Because he couldn't get open. He couldn't create space. If that's one of his best friends and he's still not throwing the ball, that means he's washed. That's why Puka Nacua was so dangerous. That's why the Rams are ready to move on. So, yeah, I was a fan. I think if I'm a Rams fan, though, you're going to be fine. Even if you go ahead and the talk is with the other LA team that they're going to trade for the number 3 pick and another round pick, okay? And then they're going to take those picks and they're going to trade up next year to try and grab Arch Manning. Whatever it takes pick-wise to go ahead and get the number 1 guy. Then all of a sudden, the franchise is back on top for what? Another 12 to 15 years? They did a pretty good job.
I think the Rams do a great job. I think Rams probably have possibly the best head coach and GM combination with Les Snead and Sean McVay. So I think the Rams are always going to be in a good spot. All right, another topic is Tee Higgins. So the Bengals put the franchise tag on Tee Higgins. You know, I kind of made up my mind a few weeks ago that the Chargers weren't going to end up with Tee Higgins. I don't know if you felt the same way. This didn't really affect me that much. I know a few people on X were, petrified that the Bengals would do this. I never thought the Chargers really had a chance of getting him within the last, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Is we all wanted Tee Higgins. Then you start looking around the NFL and realizing everybody needs Tee Higgins, right? Everybody. I mean, there's not a
Everybody.
team in the. I mean, you're hearing every team from the Dallas Cowboys who have no money. All of a sudden, they want Tee Higgins. You're hearing the Tennessee Titans. His old offensive coordinator is now the head coach of the Titans. They need him as well. Cincinnati, they're going to franchise tag him, do whatever it takes to get him. They say they're going to lock him up into a deal. I'll believe it when I see it with Cincinnati. Cincinnati is always one of the poorest teams in the league when it comes to actually, spending that money. So I don't know what happens, but the Kansas City Chiefs, who are just in the Super Bowl, could use Tee Higgins. Basically, every team in the league outside of the Philadelphia Eagles could use Tee Higgins right now. And there are teams that have a lot of money. The Patriots have a lot of money. The Raiders have a lot of money. The Chargers have a lot of money. But at the same time, we saw how Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz are building this team, and they're building it from the inside out. And right now, you have major holes on this team. So yeah, as much as we used to talk about Tee Higgins in October, November, as here we are in February, it feels like that's just a wasted dream. And it almost seems like it's going to be a bad choice to sit there and give up draft picks and money for him.
Too much. I mean, it's just too much of an asking price for Tee Higgins. Two questions. One, do you think this changes the Chargers' free agency approach? And who do you think the Chargers end up with? I'll answer the question first. I don't
Yeah.
think it changes anything from a free agency approach. I don't think the Chargers were actually going to be a true player for Tee Higgins. You heard that, once again, over a month ago, Chargers would be. And then as time went on, it kind of fizzled out. I don't know if Chargers are going to put in, what it takes for Tee Higgins. I think the Chargers end up with Keenan Allen again. I don't think Keenan Allen is going to be, the number 2. I think he ends up being like the number 3 or 4 with QJ. And then the Chargers end up with somebody like Chris Godwin or hopefully Garrett Wilson. Do you have a prediction on who the Chargers end up with from a wide receiver perspective?
I could see them bringing back Keenan. Keenan's not going to cost you anything. He's made it clear as can be. He either wants to play for the Chargers or Rams. I mean, he wants to be in LA so bad that you could see that they would end up with Keenan. I wouldn't have an issue with it. Honestly, I don't think it affects exactly what the Chargers do. I don't know if the Chargers are Super Bowl ready. I know that hurts to say. But when I watched the Philadelphia Eagles a few weeks ago, and I'm going, man, this team is so much better than the other teams in the league. Just talent for talent right now. We have so many holes on this team that I don't know if you go out and you spend crazy money on a guy that by the time you're actually ready to compete for a Super Bowl, that the guy's not helping you as much as you thought. And is it next year that they compete for a Super Bowl? I hope so. I mean, could they win the AFC? Man, I hope so. I think when we talk about the AFC and the teams you're contending with, it's basically, you're looking at the Chiefs again, who I think a lot of people believe they're on the downside. We'll see what they have, especially if Travis Kelce announces his retirement. He's supposed to make an announcement in the next few weeks. And then at the same time, you have the Bills, who should be better. The Bills are going to get better somewhere. The Ravens are loaded with talent, right? The Ravens basically were basically much better than the Chargers were when they played this season. I don't know. And I think Cincinnati could be a team that pulls it together. I mean, we've been waiting for Cincinnati to pull it together with the talent that they have. But I don't know. If people believe the Chargers are the team to win the Super Bowl this year, I think you worry about, hey, are the Chargers a team to take the AFC West crown first before they take that step to appearing in a Super Bowl?
You got to win the AFC West, which you said last show. The Chargers have a real shot at winning the AFC West. I'm gonna give you 2 different scenarios. You tell me which one would bode better for the Chargers in 2025. First scenario is the Chargers, either through free agency in the draft, fix their offensive line. They get a center and 2 guards that really, can protect Justin Herbert and help the running game as well. Would you rather have that, or the Chargers kind of run back the same interior offensive line, but we have really good receivers? We have, like DK Metcalf or Garrett Wilson or, Keenan Allen, two receivers on top of what we have now that can make a huge difference. Which situation would you rather have?
I've completely changed from a year ago on what I thought I wanted. I was always about the skill players. I think in this league, you're going to win with these skill players. You have the quarterback, who's obviously the most important skill player. And then, of course, you have the wide receivers. You need a tight end. You need all that stuff. And the Chargers have major deficiencies. I mean, major ones. Like, there are 5 big spots that you have to take care of, right? You need 2 guards. You need a center. You need a tight end. You need a receiver. You need a running back. No guarantee J.K. Dobbins is coming back either, right? You need all these guys. There are major holes on this team. Yeah, they have free agency money, But at the same time, can they get everything they want through free agency? Can they fix it all through the draft in just 1 year? I'm Josh. I'm more towards, and it's not exciting when the draft happens, but I'm more for getting two guards. I'd like to see them get one guard through free agency and one guard through the draft. I'd like to see them get a center, and obviously, I'd like to see them get a tight end through the draft. And the receiver thing, I think you can find somebody that will spell Josh Palmer. I know that might sound crazy. How are you going to replace Josh Palmer? But at the same time, I think you can find someone to stick on the other side of Ladd to help him out.
Yeah, I think Drew Dahlman's a lot of people, or the person that a lot of people want. He's the center from the Atlanta Falcons, who would be a great replacement, would help out the team tremendously. I'm going to make an argument here, okay? QJ has caught a lot of heat on this show. I think him and Joey Bosa are number 1 and 2 on catching heat on this show, which was deserved. QJ still had, from a stats perspective, a huge uptick, right? He had 55 catches, 711 yards, and 8 touchdowns, right? My argument to you is Zion Johnson, our left guard, who is a first-round pick as well, is a bigger disappointment than QJ so far. Would you say that is true? The reason why I believe it's true is, to me, guard is the most plug-and-play position out of any position in the draft. That's the one that translates the best from college to the NFL. If you're a really good guard in college, you're probably going to be a pretty good guard in the NFL. Wide receiver, not so much, right? We see it all the time with guys that are really good in college, and they really aren't anything in the NFL. You can't miss on guard. And if the Chargers go guard here in the first round, you got to hit it. You cannot miss on a guard in the first couple rounds. The Chargers obviously did miss with Zion Johnson. Would you say he's been a bigger disappointment than QJ?
He has, but that's from real football fans. You know what I mean? Real football fans know who he is. You know, if you're a Charger fan, you watch every single game. Like the people who are in the chat with us right now, who watch every single play, they understand. For the people who basically play fantasy football and catch a Charger game here and there, they're just going to talk about QJ. They don't know who Zion Johnson is. You know, QJ, though, when he drops the ball, it's magnified because we all just saw it. We all were just following the ball. You mentioned the 55 receptions. How many would he have over the last 2 years if he actually caught those? I mean, imagine if he caught every one of those that he dropped. Imagine if he was Larry Fitzgerald, who never dropped a ball, right? He'd be considered one of the better wide receivers in this league, better young wide receivers in this league. They talk about, oh, this guy has world-class speed. The guy has great hands. He scores a bunch of touchdowns. He's a guy you can rely on. The thing is, you can't rely on him. Justin Herbert knows that too. Every time you throw the ball in his direction, you're going, this is a coin flip. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I hate to say it, that's the way it feels. Right? Am I right on that? It's like watching Shaq shoot a free throw. I don't know if it's going in or not. You know, when it goes in, we're extremely excited. Every time QJ catches a ball, we're overly excited. It shouldn't be that way. Like, it's literally in the title of his job. You're a receiver. Catch the damn ball.
I think, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think when a player on your team drops a football, whether it's youth football or the NFL, it's like getting kicked in the nuts. And I know Leah doesn't know what that feels like, but it feels like you're getting kicked in the nuts because it's usually a huge play. Yeah, Leah's best fan ever. But I'm saying it's a huge play, right? QJ's drops typically aren't, 1-yard plays. They're like deep down the field, like the Packers game when you can put it on ice and you're thinking, oh my God, like you literally feel like a gut punch of that could have been the game right there. With Zion Johnson, when he misses a block, you don't have guys on X, Twitter saying, Zion Johnson, what's he doing out there? But as us Charger fans, we see it. We see Zion Johnson has been terrible, and he comes from the first round. You expect guys in the first round to be great. That's my whole point here. I think this is a guy the Chargers need to replace.
Guys in the first round, guard should be playing 12 years in this league. I'm sorry. You go in the first round, you got to be looking at guys that go, man, remember when they drafted that guy? It was a great pick. It's like, I hate to say it, you see teams like the Cowboys who have guys on the offensive line that go in the Hall of Fame on stuff like that. So if you're going to take a gamble, you're going to take a gamble and draft a guard where a lot of people say, you're taking a guard in the first round? Like, what? You can find a guard anywhere. That's not the case. But you're seeing the way these defensive lines are built, where it's these four-man fronts. Everybody has to be on their game. The Eagles completely exposed the Chiefs for having a weak offensive line.
100%. And this is a comment right here we've talked about before. This one comes from Original Wiss. It says, it's not QJ's fault that he is drafted too high and not coached up in college. I agree a little bit with that. I think QJ was drafted too high. You can't blame somebody that probably shouldn't be drafted in the first round, but you can blame him for things that he can control. I'll tell you something that he can control is using his hands to catch the ball and not his body. That's something that is day one football. He's 6'4". He should be extending his arms to catch a football. He needs to do that. The reason why he was drafted in the first round is why Tom Telesco is probably fired and why he's not there anymore. But for a guy not to extend his arms, in QJ's third season, we shouldn't have that issue, right? That should be fixed. It should be something that rarely happens. You watch any of the great receivers, like Dave said, Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, guys that usually don't drop a lot of footballs, they extend their arms and they use their hands. That's something for QJ we're going to have to pay attention to going forward. All right, there's another guy that I want to mention. We kind of gave him a pass because during last offseason, he had a medical issue and he wasn't able to participate. Junior Colson. Junior Colson is a guy to me that has to have a spotlight on him. I expect him to step in for Denzel Perryman and be, a middle linebacker that makes tons of plays. We're really happy with Henley. He's definitely a guy that we can have for a while that makes tons of tackles. Now we need Junior Colson to step up and make some plays as well. The big issue for us is he's undersized.
Dude, he is undersized. I hate when people say he's not undersized. He's undersized. You can see it. I'm sorry. When you look at linebackers in this league, and linebackers, man, it can be a sexy position on defense. They can put on a show and they're in the right place at the right time. And there have been some good ones, man, on the Chargers. There's a number right behind my head right here, Junior Seau, great linebacker. At the same time, you've had other guys that have done their job, whether it's Donnie Edwards or Lou Bush or different guys that we have all followed just in this franchise alone. But throughout the NFL, when you look at NFL stars and highlights, you're looking at great linebackers. And you know what? I'm sorry, but I expected a lot more, especially for the fact that his defensive coach in the NFL coached him in college. His head coach coached him in college. He was a disappointment last year, and he does need to step up. And for what he provided was extremely, I guess, disappointing, to use the word, to go. He wasn't NFL ready. And all of us picked him to be the guy that would adapt the quickest, but he didn't. He didn't adapt at all. And so he's undersized. If I'm him, I'm doing nothing but lifting and eating McGriddles. You know what I mean? I'm gaining some weight. I'm doing something. And if that's what it takes, man, he has to come out looking like a completely transformed body and be able to play that game. Because the fact we're sitting there talking about guys like Denzel Perryman, oh, man, it hurts not having him in the lineup. If you guys saw Denzel Perryman on the street, you'd be shocked how small he is. Like, you just can't expect that body to last. So the fact he's been in the NFL as long as he has is amazing. The fact he's been with a million teams is not amazing. There's a reason why Denzel Perryman's been with so many teams. But you're sitting there saying, let's make the adjustment of giving linebackers that you can count on. You can't count on Junior Colson right now.
You can't count on him. The reason why I have hope for Junior Colson is because Henley didn't play either as a rookie. It's because that dipshit Brandon Staley didn't have him on the field. How does this not bother you as a Charger fan, which I'm sure it does, is you had a guy who is a tackling machine on your bench for a horse crap defense for his entire rookie year. You're going to tell me you're a defensive guru? Like, that just in one of the most crazy Brandon Staley situations yet. He might go, be a DC again, which is nuts. So Dre Greenlaw from the San Francisco 49ers spoke up and said, I don't want to be in Fred Warner's shadow. I want to be linebacker number one. Do you have any interest if the Chargers went for Dre Greenlaw?
100%. I do. I take any linebackers from San Francisco, Pittsburgh, guys where they know how to do it. Ravens, I take anybody. I would in a second. Would you?
I would, but the thing that bothers me about that is, why are we wasting top draft picks on guys that aren't going to start, right? Because if you bring in Dre Greenlaw, where's Junior Colson going to play? He was our third round pick last year. He was supposed to be a guy that's, stepped up as a rookie and played. How can you keep wasting top picks and not have them, come to fruition, if you will? I would go for Dre Greenlaw too. I'm just saying you can't miss on a third round pick. And I understand that they had a great draft with Cam Hart, Tarheeb Still, Joe Alt, but still, Loud McConkey. You can't waste Junior Colson already, right?
No, that's where he was obviously a disappointment. I mean, I hate to say it, he just was. He's, you hit on so many. I mean, honestly, to hit on that many is a pretty good sign, right? When we sit there saying, did they get the right GM? I think he got the right GM. The Chargers aren't dumb. The Chargers know, this group of guys aren't dumb, I should say. They know where their deficiencies are. The fact that they won 11-6, I guarantee there are guys in that front office are like, can you believe we won 11-6 with this roster? I mean, I understand the schedule wasn't the toughest schedule. You still have to beat the guys on your schedule. They did okay. I mean, 11-6 is a ridiculous, improvement. But they know, man, just like we knew too. There's so many deficiencies all over this roster. What they were able to pick up in the draft to mask some of that stuff, all the four guys that you just mentioned right there, were key to every one of those wins. They were. I mean, a year ago at this time, we never would have thought the defense would be the strong side of the ball, right? And now you look at the offense and you're like, oh my gosh, what a mess. I mean, you have no tight end. You have no second wide receiver. You have no third wide receiver. You have no center. You have no guards. You have no running back. I mean, what? We're talking about a playoff team? The fact that they were a playoff team is pretty amazing. And look, we all
amazing.
like J.K. Dobbins. You bring in J.K. Dobbins back, he's going to ask for more money. He's going to ask for more years. Do you trust J.K. Dobbins' health?
I took a look at the free agents available running back wise. I'm probably bringing back J.K. Dobbins. I really like J.K. Dobbins, and he runs angry. I love a running back that runs angry. He just seems like he's pissed when he has the ball, something the Chargers don't typically have. I'm bringing him back. Are you not bringing him back?
All right, I'm going to throw a crazy trade scenario at you right now. Do you move up in the draft
No.
to try and get the one running back? You don't try and get the one running back that we all know that's probably going to be an NFL star.
Why are you so sure he's going to be an NFL star?
I think he is. I think he's going to be an NFL star. I think there aren't a lot of really good running backs in this league, but I know you can find guys. The Rams found a guy in the 5th round. All right. It was really good. I know you can find guys, and I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, and I don't know how long he's going to last, but from what it looks like Jim Harbaugh and Ortiz want to do about winning games from the inside, you got to have that running back. Now, I don't know if he's durable or not. It might come back to bite you, but it also might come back to give you, I don't know, LT, should I say? I don't even know if the guy's hands. I don't watch one of his games from start to finish. I just watch a ton of highlights. But the Dallas Cowboys say they want him. Other teams want him. Do you sit there and make a trade? Okay, look, I'll give an example. A guy who you could probably make a trade for right now. Some people disagree with me, but you tell me what they think of him. If you grab Cook from the Bills, okay, who I think is one of the better running backs in the league, when the Bills needed points and they needed one last drive in the playoffs, Cook was on the sideline. He wasn't very happy at all. He's still not happy. He's still complaining about it. You go ahead.
Who else would they have though? Who are the Bills going to have at running back?
But if you don't want a disgruntled guy either, if that guy's disgruntled and goes, "Get me the hell out of here," if you're the Chargers, you try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, James Cook is a top 5 running back in the NFL.
I agree.
I don't know, man, if the Bills are willing to part ways with him.
Would you trade your number 1 for him? Would you trade a number 2 for him?
Yeah, I would trade a number 2 for James Cook. James Cook's really, really good.
I agree with you.
Yeah, the Bills are also really good.
The Bills are going to change some things over. They've made it clear. What we did was not good enough to play in the Super Bowl. We got to make some moves. Now, I think James Cook's a guy you hold on to, but he's pissed. I mean, if you sit there and listen to his interviews, he's mad. You know, I mean, the 2 craziest things I can think of in the NFL, a couple things, the 3 craziest things I can think of in football, not even just the NFL. The fact that Pete Carroll didn't run the ball and threw the ball instead and threw an interception in the Super Bowl to the Patriots was crazy. Okay. The fact that Lindo White got the ball against Texas was crazy. Not the fact that he got the ball, the fact that Reggie Bush, who just won the Heisman Trophy a week earlier, was sitting on the bench on that play. Like, not even a decoy that, hey, we might use the best player in college football on this play, but he's on the bench. And the other one is that you didn't use Cook in the last drive against the Chiefs at all. Not even on the field.
I don't get that. Yeah, I think if you were to rank the best running backs in the NFL, he'd be number 4 for me, or number 5. I think it would be, I'd go Saquon, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, and then James Cook. And that's a really good top 5. That's really good. So here's another person. You bring up trading up for Genty. They say the running back from North Carolina Tar Heels, Omarion Hampton, is really close to closer to him than people would give him credit for.
Okay.
They think he's the running back number 2 by a mile. He's really good. If anybody wants to look Omarion Hampton stats from North Carolina, they're very impressive. I think that's somebody the Chargers could end up drafting if they do go running back in the first round and you don't have to trade up. With that being said, I would be kind of upset if the Chargers took a running back in the first round. I don't think the Chargers have a running back issue. I think you could bring back J.K. Dobbins, which I just said. You can address the guard in the first round and try to fix that issue. You could also sign, somebody in free agency, or you could draft a tight end, right? I think drafting a big-time tight end is going to make the biggest difference along with the guard, right? Those 2 things right there is you're going to notice a huge difference. Chargers' first game of the season, like, wow, we actually have this tight end that can catch the ball and make plays. Will Disley had to go home to his wife every night and said, hey, like, don't say anything, but they actually want me to catch balls for this team. Like, don't they know I'm a blocking tight end? And then his wife is like, "You are a blocking tight end. You've always been a blocking tight end." He goes, "No, no, like I'm actually the receiving tight end." She goes, "Shut up." No, I really am. It was the craziest thing in the world that Will Disley was getting like 8 targets a game, a guy that was supposed to block. So if the
Yeah.
Chargers ended up with a big time tight end, I think that's the one position where you show up game 1 of the season like, wow, like the Raiders, right? And the Raiders suck ass, but Brock Bowers, you turn on the TV, you can immediately see where he is, right?
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is just a huge difference maker. Chargers could end up with a big time tight end just in the first round.
Yeah, I'll go to my grave saying they should have drafted Brock Bowers last year. I'm sorry. Brock Bowers had nothing as a decoy that could go to anybody else, and he still was ridiculous. I mean, the season he had with the Raiders with the no quarterback, terrible coaching, no wide receiver threats, no running back threats, and Brock Bowers was still getting the ball is crazy how good he is. I mean, imagine what he would have done in Jim Harbaugh's offense. Look, Joe Alt's great, but hell, who knows? Brock Bowers and Joe Alt might both be in the Hall of Fame together one day. But damn, if Brock Bowers was a Charger, how many people are buying that jersey? How many people in your request would have been asking for Brock Bowers jerseys right now? That's a I agree with you. I'd rather have the tight end. A matter of fact, I'd rather have a tight end than if they drafted a wide receiver. I'd rather have a free agent wide receiver, even if it's like an Amari Cooper, a guy that's old, been in the league a long time. But the tight end to me is more important than a big time wide receiver. All right. And what I mean by that, you already have Ladd. So I'd rather have a tight end and a wide receiver than 2 wide receivers and no tight end.
See, this pisses me off. And it's not because I disagree with Leah. I think this is an old Chargers move. This is a pre Joe Ortiz decision right here. You end up with Mark Andrews because that's our luck at tight end. I am 100% okay with Mark Andrews if he's the number 2 tight end. If Mark Andrews is the number 1 tight end, I'm going to throw my shit like a monkey. Like, I am going to be so upset that Mark Andrews is our tight end. He's declining. He's still okay. If he was our number 2 tight end, he'd be the best number 2 tight end in the NFL for sure, right? But he's not tight end number 1 for a team that's trying to win in the playoffs. At this point in his career, I do not want Mark Andrews as tight end 1. Do you want Mark Andrews?
Dude, I hate to say it, Josh. He's better than anything they have right now.
I understand, man, but he's not.
I mean, but okay. What would you rather have? You want Kyle Pitts or you want Mark Andrews?
Mark
like,
Andrews.
Have Kyle Pitts ever shown you anything? Yeah.
The thing with the problem with Kyle Pitts is not because he's not talented. Do you know why people are frustrated with Kyle Pitts? He doesn't bust his ass on every play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no time for that. If you're in the NFL or you're a professional athlete, you're not busting your butt. Like, you can't be on my team. I can't deal with that. I'll take Mark Andrews if you want to get another tight end with him, but I can't deal with Mark Andrews and like another tight end that's on the roster right now. I'll freak out. All right.
Yeah.
We have all right. We have a chat here from AK. If I can find it. I'm trying to do what Mario does. It's harder than it looks. All right. 499 from AK says, I have a proposal trade. We give the number 22 pick and maybe a next year's first to the Colts for this year's second round pick and Jonathan Taylor. Would you do it? What do you think, Dave?
Boy, man, it kind of makes me wonder. God dang, I used to love Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what I don't follow Colts football enough. I know it must be tough being a member of the Colts, but as Josh just said, when you're a professional, you bust your ass all the time. Boy, if Jonathan Taylor was a Charger, I'd be extremely excited. I would be.
You give up a first round pick, but you get a number 2.
No, I don't think you have to give up a first round for Jonathan Taylor. I think you'd have to give up maybe a 2 and a 3.
Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because running backs, they're
short-lived.
Short lifespan. He's going in a year like 4 or 5. I don't know if I do it. I'm a big Jonathan Taylor fan, but I don't think I give up that for him. I just don't think it's worth it.
Good question, AK.
Yeah, it was a good one, AK. Appreciate it. All right. Do you have any a rant for us today? Anything that's pissed you off lately?
I'm always upset about something. There's a million things. I'm upset about things I can't even talk about on the air. I basically laid in the Kelly Stafford thing drives me nuts. Again, when people sit there and jump into other people's businesses, but I don't know. I will jump on the baseball side. I called Josh when I saw this. If you're a Charger fan, you're probably either a Padre fan or a Dodger fan. I'm a Dodger fan. Josh is a big Padre fan. All right, so we'll balance the scales for both people watching right now. But I don't understand as we get ready for spring training games to start on Thursday. I do not understand how the Padres bring in Yuli Gurriel, a guy that was on TV in 2017 doing the racist slant eye gesture for Yu Darvish, and now you're going to bring him into a clubhouse with Yu Darvish. So it drives me nuts. I just don't think guys like that. I'm a second chance guy, but I don't believe in a second chance for Gurriel. And so good luck to your Padres, Josh, this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Should be a long
holding that
season.
thing together with Scotch tape.
Not excited.
And Leah, you're an Orioles fan. I see over there. I see what that Orioles hat on. I don't know why you guys won't go out and spend money on pitchers. You know, you have all the talent in the world, but you guys won't spend money on pitchers. Good luck to you too.
Damien says, am I the only one who thinks Josh looks like Nick Sirianni? No, I get it a lot. I used to get, I'll take that over Lil Dicky. I used to get Lil Dicky a lot too, which I don't like. I don't like that one. Leah says, $9.99 says, thank you for the show. See you on Thursday. See you on Thursday. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
I hope Mario comes back on Thursday. We didn't know until right before the show Mario wasn't going to make it. So I know he hates missing these shows. He enjoys doing them as well. But we went through a lot of topics, huh? Just the two of us. We fired through a ton of stuff instead of going around and arguing back and forth. Pretty good. Someone said they're gonna. Leah said she'll hit the Dodger games there. It's exciting. By the way, Josh and I always do this trip. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show, Josh, on the air about our summer trip. We'll share some personal stuff, but we're trying to hit all the ballparks in Major League Baseball. We're gonna start. That's ridiculous. We're trying to hit all. Take me out of that circle. I don't want to be in that circle. I feel like I'm on the opening scene of The Love Boat. You don't even know what that is. Where did Josh go? Did he just fall off? I don't even know what to say. Am I stuck here? That sucks. All right. I feel like I got to lean back a little bit. Josh and I, this summer, we're hitting 3 stadiums. And the future is, there you are. Fix that circle.
I'll fix it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like we're, you don't know the TV show The Love Boat, but that's what used to start. They put everybody in the circle of who the guest stars were the week, and they put them in that stupid circle. So we're hitting Milwaukee on a Friday, June 6th. Going to see the Brewers take on the Pods. Then we're going to spend the night in Milwaukee, which is a great city, I hear. No one's ever said that. And then we're going to drive, an hour and a half to Chicago, catch the White Sox. We've already seen the Cubs. We're going to see the White Sox take on the Royals. We're getting in the car again. We're shooting to Cincinnati. And on Sunday, we're going to watch the Reds and Diamondbacks. Again, it's all about ballpark tours, what we're doing. Then we're going to go back to Nashville, Tennessee, and a lot of states. We're going to like 5 states in like 3 days, 48 hours. We're going to plus 3 baseball games, but that's the move. So what we're going to plan on doing in the future, as we discuss this, we're going to try and hit cities and hit a football stadium at the same time. So like when we go to Pittsburgh, we catch a Pirates game on a Saturday and catch a Steelers game on a Sunday, right? That's the deal. Try and do that with Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, places we haven't been to.
Yeah. Let me
Seattle.
ask you guys, if you guys were doing a football trip, which stadium would you like to see? I think it has to be top 3 for me. If I was, Charger fan, obviously, I'm going Kansas City #1, right? I think Arrowhead would be pretty sweet.
I thought you were going to say Lambeau.
No, that was going to be my number 3. I think I'm going Pittsburgh #2. I want to see the terrible towel thing in person, and then I go Lambeau #3. What would be your top 3?
I like all those. Every one of those sounds cool as hell to me. I like all those. Again, as I see Leah over here saying with the Orioles hat. Josh and I went to Camden Yards a few years ago. Actually loved it. Had a good time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Baltimore was a little shady at the time, but I guess had bullet problems going on. But Camden Yards was pretty cool.
Camden was cool. I didn't like the drag racing in the street when I was trying to sleep. That wasn't fun. But that's it. I don't really have anything else. If you have nothing else, we'll get going.
No, you got all the super chats all done?
Oh, yeah. No, AK just said send us 99 cents just for fun.
That's very nice. Thanks, AK.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, man. I'll see you on Thursday. If you guys want to enter into the giveaway, make sure you repost the post from the Bolt Crew Pod on X, and it'll enter yourself into the giveaway. We will do it at the end of the show in 2 days. I'm excited about that.
I see the message over here, by the way, real quick. So Rocky Stadium underrated. I agree with you. Coors Field was great. Had a great time at Coors Field. Went last year. That was a good time. Looking forward to seeing the rest of them. But we're about halfway done with these ballparks, correct?
Yeah, about 15 done.
Okay, we're about halfway done. We'll try and knock all these out. But anyway, again, appreciate everybody joining us today. Please subscribe, like the show. These circles, man, drive me crazy. All right, we look ridiculous. That's even worse. All right, we'll be out of here. We'll be back on Thursday, 1 o'clock. Mario hopefully will join us. And again, thank you so much for participating in the show. Again, Bolt Crew podcast, always a lot of fun. There's Josh. Are you just effing with me? God dang it, man. I hate it. Like, I just too much of myself right there. I don't like it at all. All right, we'll be back on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Take care, everybody.